good day. Welcome into First Take. Spike Lee is here. We'll talk to him in just a bit. Definitely get into some NBA topics. Meanwhile, of course, Skip Bayless is here and Stephen A. Smith joining us from Philly. I'm Molly Karam. Gentlemen.
Oh, you're Molly Karam. It's nice to meet you, Molly. How are you? How are you,
it's one
Stephen
of those
A.
days,
Smith?
Stephen A.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. How y'all doing? Good morning. How y'all doing?
Now that it's NBA season again, you just got this new glow about you. I love this. You just look different.
You know how I love my basketball.
This is your time.
Maybe a little bit different, but I still look good. I mean,
well,
there's no surprise there.
I'm here to tell you, you will not like what I'm going to say about basketball to start the show. But here we go.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah,
I know that. I know that the Cavs lost. That means LeBron lost, which means I got to listen.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Stephen A., I think someone's a little fired up today, a little sassy to my left. All right, let's do it. Opening night in Chicago, the Bulls beat the Cavs by 2 points. Skip Bayless.
Yes.
What's your takeaway?
Stephen A. Smith, here we go again. Same time next year. I'm about to be branded, probably by you, as yet again a hypercritical hater of LeBron James. But I'm sorry, I have to tell the truth. LeBron James, even though it was opening night, he failed to close a game that he should have closed. And I realize it's just game one, so I'm not going to make too big a deal out of this. But LeBron James is being graded by me, and maybe only by me, as the best player on the planet. You told me that all year last year, and I gave it up to you. I said, you're right. He's the best player on the planet. He is now the Vegas betting favorite to win his 5th MVP this year. And just yesterday, as you well know, ESPN.com released its final 10 spots on its 1 through 100 ranking. And as we know, we went back and forth. Kobe was 93rd on this list. Dwayne Wade was 46th on this list. Guess who was revealed yesterday as #1 overall on this list? LeBron James. So I'm sorry, even though it's game one, I cannot tell a lie. I cannot give this man a pass because he's better than me or anybody else giving him a pass for what happened last night in Chicago. LeBron James came up small in the clutch again. And this was a game that was begging for LeBron James to put it in his back pocket and leave town with. This was a game in the fourth quarter. You've got President Obama sitting courtside. You got a TNT national audience, and you got a Bulls team searching for a new identity. Who are we? Do we play defense anymore? Are we all offense? I don't love this Bulls team, and I don't think it's nearly the threat it used to be to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And meanwhile, you have a Cavaliers team that clearly, as they wait for Kyrie and Shump to get healthy, they need to bank some wins just for home court advantage when it really matters in the postseason. So here we are, fourth quarter. LeBron did score 8 in the fourth quarter. I thought he was very good up to that point. He was very good for the whole game. But down the stretch, who knew? Kevin Love comes up big and makes 2 big threes that get them back in position to close the deal. 10 seconds left. Derrick Rose misses a 3-point shot. All of a sudden, the ball is in LeBron James' hand with the game on the line, down 2. And he drives to his right, and he shies away from Pau Gasol and ultimately tries to shoot a little runner that has no chance and gets easily blocked by Pau. So here we go again. This is LeBron James we're talking about. This man, this is a freight train. This is the moment where he has to power up through Pau Gasol, take the ball up to the basket. He's going to get that call because he's LeBron James, and he's going to have to go to the free throw line to make a couple of free throws to send the game to overtime. Now, obviously, in this game, LeBron had been 0 for 3, missed all 3 of his free throw attempts, so maybe he was a little gun-shy about having to go to the line and make his first free throw of the night and then his second free throw of the night. But still, this is LeBron, but they got a little reprieve. Ball got batted out of bounds by Pau. So 3 seconds left. Mo Williams, his old running mate from the old Cavs days, tries to get him the ball in bounds, and LeBron couldn't lose Jimmy Butler. God bless Jimmy Butler, but I thought LeBron would at least get open somehow to get the ball from a very adept Mo at passing the ball in bounds, and Mo's left with a last-second lob toward the middle of the court that has no chance, goes over everybody, and the game is over. So, again, it's just game one. but the odds-on MVP came up small at a moment that again, as the #1 ranked player on ESPN.com, he should have closed. Your thoughts?
Well, my thought is that I'm not going to entirely disagree with you. Obviously, LeBron James acknowledged that he was small driving to the basket, that the man-child that he is, he could have driven to the basket with some degree of more veracity, more fervor. Obviously, he should have been a bit more physical. He went up a little bit weak. There's no question about that. And it was something, even though he was effective, he had 25 points and 10 rebounds. Even though he was obviously effective, I just didn't see the LeBron James that I'm accustomed to seeing. I thought he seemed a bit apathetic at times during, integrals of the, just elements of the game. He just didn't seem to be his regular, competitive, feverish self. He didn't seem to be that guy. He seemed to be a guy that was in cruise control. But let's not overreact. It's 82 games. It's game 1 of the NBA season. Obviously, he had the shots in the back, and he was out in the latter part of preseason. We don't know what his situation is. We know that ultimately we anticipate that he'll get better. But there were even questions as to whether or not he would be ready for game 1 until he declared that he was ready to go for game 1. So clearly at less than 100%, he still dropped 25 and 10. There's no doubt that Pau Gasol, who had already had 5 blocks on the game, that's not the guy that you want to drive to the basket on and go up as weak as LeBron James went up compared to how he's accustomed to going up. But he's LeBron James. It's one game. It's game 1 of the regular season. And we all know he's measured by what happens in May and June as opposed to what happens in October and November. I'm not really worried about it. I think if he had to do it all over again, he'd handle that play a bit differently. I'm not going to get on him for not getting but so open against Jimmy Butler, because if you had David Blatt, if you had somebody other than the 6 feet tall Mo Williams inbounding the ball when LeBron James was in the paint area and just holding up his hand, you would have had somebody that could have lobbed it up to him appropriately and got him the ball. But Mo Williams is relatively short. His vision was being impeded because Hoiberg guarded the inbounds passer, and as a result, what ended up happening. But in the end, what it comes down to is that 1 of 82 games, LeBron James was good, but he wasn't the great LeBron James that we're accustomed to seeing. The Bulls, obviously highly motivated, new regime, new era. Tom Thibodeau out, Fred Hoiberg in. The players excited about playing ball on the offensive end of the floor. You saw what you saw. Jimmy Butler looked good. Derrick Rose didn't look so great, only shooting 8 of 22 from the field. And don't get me started with what he said in his post game about how he still couldn't see out of his eye. I mean, you just never know with this guy. And so when you look at it from that perspective, the Bulls were going to be hyped for this game. I remember listening to Frank Sola for the New York Daily News on radio talking about how you could guarantee that the Bulls were going to win a game like last night because it's the kind of game that Cleveland would lose going on the road into Chicago with the beginning of a new regime, the crowd hyped, everybody electric, and ultimately it's going to be a tight-fought game, but the outcome was the outcome. No need to overreact, Skip Bayless. Your points are valid. I'm not refuting them. I'm simply pointing out that it's just game 1. It's not something that you're going to be able to say the vast majority of this season. It's the first game of the regular season, and LeBron came in there less than 100%. He should have gone up stronger. He should have been a bit more physical. He should have looked more involved at certain intervals of the game. But it's just game 1 of the regular season. It's no big deal. It's certainly not going to get in the way of Cleveland winning the East. So just pump the brakes and calm down.
Okay, I'll pump the brakes because I'm surprised at your take on this. You are agreeing with the sort of the overall premise that LeBron didn't look as locked in as you thought he might look.
Absolutely.
He didn't play with the tenacity or the fury or the whatever, the drive, the will, like it's a game we got to have. And again, as you well know, he is almost always played good to great in the house that Jordan built. He's basically owned that building that houses the Chicago Bulls. So with our president at courtside, what would you attribute that to last night? Do you think it's just the back? Should we give him a pass because of the back? The numbers are good. As you said, 25 and 10.
But let's be clear. I'm not saying give him a pass. I'm simply saying let's not overreact. Nobody plays all 82 games effectively. There are always nights when you think and know you could have and should have done something differently. I think last night, particularly on that final play, or the next to last final play, the penultimate play, I think it's one of those situations where LeBron would, if he could do it over, he would have gone to the basket a bit more aggressively. There's no question about it. All I'm saying to you is let's not overreact. It's LeBron James we're talking about here. It's one game. And the vast majority of the times, he's going to do a better job on a play like that, particularly is when he has any path to the basket, especially against a 7'1" player like Pau Gasol. He would usually go up much, much stronger.
He would.
He will be that freight train that we're accustomed to seeing.
That's correct.
I think that back has something to do with it, but I also acknowledge that back or no back, he didn't seem as locked in as we're accustomed to seeing him throughout last night's game.
Would you agree?
I watched it. He didn't seem that way.
Am I overreacting off one night of seeing this Bulls team and saying this team is no longer the threat it used to be? I don't see it any better than maybe fourth in the East, behind, obviously, the Cavs, the Heat, the Bucks, and then the Bulls. Would you agree with that?
Well, I agree with that before a game was played. I think losing that edge with Tom Thibodeau defensively, Joakim Noah not being in the greatest of health, meaning not being 100%, I think when you look at it from that perspective, and Derrick Rose just being a perpetual question mark, I don't think there's any question that they're not the team that they used to be. I think the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference are Cleveland, Miami, Washington, and Milwaukee.
All right. And what was your take from Derrick Rose last night? Because I saw a guy who looked a little better than I thought he would. He did take 22 shots, made 8 of them, got in the lane. Most of his 15 of the 22 were shot in the lane, so he was taking the ball to the basket. I'm just not seeing that guy, that MVP I used to see.
Well, I didn't see that guy from the second he opened his mouth with all of these quotes. You know, when you open your mouth with quotes about how you're worried about being healthy for your kids, you know, 10 years from now. And you're talking about that's an excuse to bring up your contract. When you're sitting there and you're talking about your eye and you got double vision, but you're going to try to play and all of this other stuff. I mean, if I recall, there was a play last night where it looked like he might have tweaked his ankle a little bit, and you hear the announcer say, oh, my goodness, oh, Lord. You know, because that's the state of affairs that exist in Chicago. If Derrick Rose has a cold, you're wondering how long he's going to be out. That's how bad it is. And so because of that reality, I don't think the Chicago Bulls are what they used to be, because their edge used to be you were going to be in a dogfight every single night. They were going to come at you. They were going to be relentless like a pack of wild dogs or what have you. They were going to come at you, and you were going to have to figure out a way to offset that. That is not what you look at right now when you see the Chicago Bulls. You see a very talented Jimmy Butler. You see a Derrick Rose who's gifted and can play and can still hurt you. Pau Gasol could do some things. Mirotic is not bad, but overall, they're just a good team. There's nothing great about them.